Welcome to Butterflies of Wisdom, everyone. If I sound, happier than I did the previous days, that's because the elves of Comcast came into my house and fixed my internet, so now we're right back on track. I'll promise you guys there's episode will come out on Thursday as usual, so no more waiting. No more waiting on wind, because wind feels bad. Well, enough of my rambling. I'm going to let Miss Sarah take it away.
Awesome. Well, thanks so much for having me. I'm super excited to be here with you today.
Well, I'm super excited to have you. Now, Sarah, please explain to my fan base more of what you do.
Yeah, definitely. So I created an online platform about almost 4 years ago called balancedbabe.com. So what it is an online destination that provides free educational resources on essentially how to live a balanced, healthy lifestyle. So everything from holistic recipes, natural remedies, natural beauty remedies, wellness tips, guides, everything you could think of on how to live a very healthy but approachable lifestyle. And through that, I am a certified holistic nutrition and health coach. So I used to work a lot with clients one-on-one for their health goals, but now I primarily am focused on online learning, so helping clients through courses, through the media platform, and then through broadcasting. So I also am a health contributor on all the morning shows here in Chicago. I do cooking demos, nutrition tips, and all sorts of good stuff. So in a nutshell, I
How cool is that?
Eat wellness. Yeah, I do a lot.
How cool is that? So, okay. Now my next question, and then we'll get to the favorite child question here. Were you in corporate America, and did you leave corporate America, or did you start this right out of college, or did your parents say do whatever you want, or how did this all start?
Yeah, so it's quite an interesting story. So for about 13 years before I started Balanced Babe, I was working full-time in the fashion industry as a model. So I was a high fashion model. I did runway, commercial print, editorial, all of that. Did that full-time for 13 years. I started when I was 11 years old, and that was my career. I traveled the world. I did the whole Milan, Italy trip. I worked in Greece and Turkey. And at first, when I started as a young child, I thought, as everybody thinks, the fashion industry is all about dressing up and feeling pretty and taking photographs. But little did I know that it is not as glamorous as it may seem. So it led me towards a downward spiral of depression, of very unhealthy habits, and very unhealthy eating habits. And so I came to a point where I was smoking a pack of cigarettes a day. I was not eating healthy. I was not treating myself right. And I was just depressed because I was constantly being criticized about how I looked. I wasn't thin enough. I didn't look a certain way, and my whole life was kind of based on just outward appearances and nothing inward. So one day I woke up, I think I was 23 at the time. I was working in Istanbul, and I thought, you know what, I'm not helping anybody. This fashion industry, nobody realizes how unhappy a lot of people are because they're not doing anything to serve the world. They're not helping others. They're not inspiring others. They're not motivating young women to have a healthy body image. They're motivating young women to be unhealthy by setting these unrealistic standards. So I decided right then and there that I'm going to create a career for myself that does the exact opposite of the modeling industry and empower women and help them gain confidence no matter what size they are or what their health goals are. And I started Balanced Babe and decided to get certified in nutrition and health coaching right then and there. And that was kind of my switching point in life.
Okay, you don't know this, but I am now pursuing my degree in fashion journalism. And it's interesting because what I say to people all the time is the toothpick models drive me nuts. The perception in the modeling industry drives me nuts. And that's one of the reasons why I am pursuing a degree in fashion journalism, so that fashion journalism gets its head spun a little bit, because I want the diversity factor. I mean, if you're not the skinniest model, you won't get the gig. And so they try and make these models as skinny as they can. And it's like anorexia is huge in modeling industry. And you will attest to that, because I bet when you were doing it, you they said to you, be a certain size so you can fit in those type size 2 clothing.
Yeah, that is exactly what happened. All 13 years. Can you imagine being a young woman, age 13, 14, and having people criticize the size of your legs if they were too big and telling you to lose weight? That is extremely detrimental to your self-image and your confidence. And yeah, you're absolutely right. So many young women suffer from eating disorders and also substance abuse because they turn to even prescription pills like Adderall to just suppress their appetite and stay thin. So that is really awesome that you are pursuing a degree in that, and I hope you will make massive change and make people realize that the modeling industry is not all about just stick figures with no shape. We need some womanly figures back in here, that's what I'm saying.
Yes. Hello. We need, I learned the hard way that people think, oh, Min is going to go review New York Fashion Week. Yes, Min is going to review New York Fashion Week, but I'm going to bring the diversity side to New York Fashion Week, not the straight and narrow side that everyone wants to see about the toothpick models. I'm going to try and dig deeper into the modeling industry, because I think that's what they need. And people need to be healthy and they need to be happy.
Exactly. I couldn't agree more. We need more women out there that empower each other and are realistic, not this unrealistic standard of what beauty is.
Exactly. And so, that being said, what has been your favorite entrepreneurial moment in all this?
Oh, my favorite entrepreneurial moment. Well, so for the first 2.5 years that I started my business, I also created a conference series here in Chicago called the Be Healthful Retreat. And the mission of that was to bring together all the wellness businesses and influencers and people within the wellness world here in Chicago under one space to provide everybody a day of wellness and rejuvenation. And so I went in not planning a conference before in my life. And 2 years later, my second conference brought in over 600 people and over 100 vendors and all sorts of speakers. And it was a really, really great day. And I was honored to be able to create that from the ground up with not knowing how to do anything before then. I really literally just kind of gotten there and taught myself how to do it. And that, I would say I'm very proud of that, because that is one thing with entrepreneurship that a lot of people don't realize, is that half the time when you're an entrepreneur, you think you need to know everything, or you get scared to take a risk or try something new if you're not sure if you know everything about it. But the wonderful thing about being an entrepreneur is that you can teach yourself. You have the World Wide Web to research whatever you need. There's so many books and so many websites and resources that can literally teach you any type of skill you want, that you can honestly be a self-starter in that entrepreneurial mindset and do whatever your wildest dreams are if you just dedicate yourself and teach yourself what you need to know.
I agree. I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more. I mean, the University of Google is amazing, and all these colleges now are offering online courses. So, and yes, people, there are ways to go back to school, even at our old ages. If you want to be a certified health coach or be a fashion journalism major, there are ways to go back to school. As long as you dedicate yourself to your dreams, you can do anything.
It's true. It's so true. And not a lot of people realize that. So there needs to be somebody out there that just spreads the word of, hey, teach yourself how to do whatever you want.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And I think I'm going to be that champion in my next life here, with my career move. But I wanted to ask you, what is your favorite book?
Yeah, so my favorite book is called Think and Grow Rich for Women. So I know that there is the original Think and Grow Rich book, but there's a newer book that came out called Think and Grow Rich for Women, which is kind of, geared towards us ladies. But I love that book because it provides somewhat of a step-by-step plan to creating the success that you want. A lot of motivational books out there just kind of say, like, oh, tell yourself these positive mantras every day, or choose what you're going to work on each day. But I like Think and Grow Rich because it sets step-by-step plans of how to create success. And so have you read that book before? Have you heard about it?
No, I have heard, I have to find it. I have heard Think and Grow Rich so many times that I'm like, Think and Grow Rich, when is our women's version coming out? And now I'm happy to know that there's a women's version coming out, because it's like, Think and Grow Rich, Think and Grow Rich. It's like, really? Really?
Yeah.
You forget the women? Really? And so whoever authored the women's version gets high places in my book.
There you go. Yeah. So that is definitely a worthwhile read for anybody that wants to be an entrepreneur or even start a side hustle on top of their full-time job. It's a really, really valuable book that I go back to frequently.
So if you had to be educated by anyone, inside or outside of your field, who would it be and why, and what would you ask them, and why would you ask them that?
Oh, so I would love to speak with Deepak Chopra just because he's just a mindful master, right? He's the master of meditation and mindfulness and spirituality and everything that kind of encompasses the spiritual part of life. And so I would want to learn from him the ways of actual meditation. I know that so many people say, like, oh, I could have said 10 minutes here and there to meditate, but I want to learn how to get deep into this meditation, because I hear people talking all the time about how they start going through this deep meditation and then they see visions and epiphanies and all sorts of things. So I would love to be a fly on the wall in his world and just learn from him and see how he interacts with people and what practices he uses for himself, for sure.
Well, they're not doing it anymore, but I know that every year Oprah and Deepak have a meditation academy online. I think it's in November. And so I know that for a fact because I keep getting emails about it. And so if you guys want to potentially meditate with Deepak Chopra and join this online academy, I guess you could Google it now and sign up for the mailing list.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna do that right after this podcast interview because I want to get serious about meditating in 2018.
Yep. So there's a tip for you. There's a tip for people that because I like to meditate too, also I have, there's many meditation apps out there. One is called Headspace. The other one is Simply Habits. Simply Habits is only 5 minutes. Headspace is 10 minutes, and they give you the first day free. Also, Simply Habits gives you free lessons until you unlock premium, unlike Headspace. Headspace only gives you 10 days free, so you guys can try that if you don't feel like doing the meditation with Oprah and Deepak Chopra, but I know they have it. I know they have it every single year. So where can people find Balance Babe if they want to get more involved? And yes, I'm going to look up Balance Babe myself because I want to be healthier in 2018, and I want to see what magical tricks Sarah has up her sleeve, because I need to be healthier in 2018. I mean, if I'm going into the modeling industry / journalism, I need to practice what I'm going to be preaching.
That's right. Yep. So you
Yep.
can go to the main website, which is www.balancebabe.com, and then my Instagram and my Twitter are both the same handles. It's balanced_babe, and then Facebook, it is just you search the Balance Babe, and there I am. So all primarily online. There's links within my website if you want to join the mailing list to get special exclusive recipes or online courses or other free resources. But yeah, if you just go to balancebabe.com, that's kind of my little hub of all the information.
And Sarah, one more question, and then I'm going to let you ask me a couple questions that you have been curious to ask me. What is your biggest wish for 2018?
Oh, my biggest wish for 18. So, strangely enough, I've been living in Chicago for almost 9 years now, and I want to start looking at potentially other cities to move to or live to. Something with a lot of nature. So either out west, maybe California, or what state are you in, Wynn?
I'm in Colorado. I'm smack dab in the middle of Mother Nature. I am in Aspen, Colorado, and I am smack dab in the middle of Mother Nature.
Do you love it?
I do. I grew up here, even though as much as I balk and squawk about how Aspen itself isn't handicapped and accessible, how I want to move out to California. Aspen will always be my home, even if I do move out to California for work purposes only, because I need Mother Nature. I swear to God, I can't do Chicago winters. I'm sorry, but I can't do those Midwest cold, rainy winters. I can only do winters with sunshine.
Yep, that's exactly how I am. I've been growing up in the Chicago winter all my life, and every year I say, but then I still stay.
Yeah. But no, I would get sad. I would get sad, diagnosed with that immediately if I had to do those cold northeast winters, because central time winters, because of my physical disability. And so I have cerebral palsy, so it's bone and joint condition, and it causes a bunch of other good stuff. And so I need sunshine with my snow. I can handle the snow and the ice. I just need sunshine with it.
Yeah, everybody needs sunshine. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you need that vitamin D to feel happy and healthy. It's such a hormone regulating vitamin that you need. And so many people here in Chicago just get seasonal depression because in the wintertime it's not only snowy but also overcast a lot. So it's
yeah.
So
yeah.
I wish I was in Colorado with you, loving up on the sun.
in Colorado, and I'm on vitamin D. In Colorado, they say you can't get enough vitamin D. So what they prescribe is vitamin D. And of course, you can only, this is my PSA for anyone who feels like crap that needs, go get your blood checked too, because you can only find out if you have vitamin D deficiencies through a blood test. And yes, Wynn did a blood test, and I found out that I had vitamin D. I didn't take the pill for a long time, even though my doctor said it's time for you to take the vitamin D pill, it's time for you to do all that. I didn't want to put a pill in my body, let alone a cold pill. So I finally surrendered. I'm like, look, I'm in a crappy mood. I have all these signs and symptoms of vitamin D deficiency. And I finally said, okay, I'll take this pill once a day. I'll surrender to you guys. So, when you feel crappy, you might want to go get a blood test, you guys, to, see if you have vitamin D deficiency, because it's one of those hidden disabilities that a million people are walking around with that we don't even know we have.
Yep, that is true. I have to get a blood test, so I'm going to take your advice. I got to get one here in Chicago.
Yep, you got to get one and see if you have it. Then that may change your outlook on moving too, because if you have a vitamin D deficiency, there's natural ways that you can get vitamin D, of course, the sun, but of course they say in Colorado that even if you stand in the sun, you're still not getting enough vitamin D. So that's why they put people in Colorado on vitamin D. And no, I'm not a doctor, but this is my personal experience. And the moment you take vitamin D, the first time you feel like a completely new woman.
Yeah, that is true. That is so true. So, Wynn, what are some of your New Year's goals for 2018?
My New Year's goals, well, one of them, which I'm working really hard on, is walking independently again without assistive device, because I lost my capability to walk and almost speak. You guys don't know that part. I have never said that part on the podcast, but I almost lost everything. In 2006, I almost lost my capability to walk, lost my capability to speak, lost my capability to have any control of my body, because someone let my spine go dead for 20 minutes, and they still won't admit to me. So my big goal, I actually have two big goals. One is to get one of my books on the New York Times bestseller list. Two, my big goal again is to walk independently, and in 2018, and so we'll see if that big goal works. Hopefully, by the time I graduate, which will be in 2019, I will be less reliant on our assistive device.
That is amazing. Wow. And so have you written a book before, or is this going to be your first book that you're writing?
No. This is going, I actually have three in the works right now, two in the works. One I just got back from my ghostwriter, one I just got back from my editor, and then one I'm working on a scoliosis book, which will be published with the publisher. I don't know when that book is coming out. I'm working on a scoliosis book because what happens is scoliosis happens through puberty, happens when young people, men and women, get puberty. And what the doctors fail to tell you is this is what's going to happen because the body changes, your spine potentially changes too. So it can happen to able body, it can happen to the disabled as well, and that's where I lost my capability to walk and almost lost my capability to control my own body in 2006. And then, so now I'm stepping out and telling my story about scoliosis, nothing having to do with cerebral palsy, because scoliosis, again, is one of those hidden disabilities that people don't know about.
That is incredible. Wow. You'll have to let me know once these books come out so I can
grab
a copy.
I will. Definitely. But you guys can definitely find my other books on Amazon, and just type in Win, W-I-N, Kelly, K-E-L-L-Y, Charles, C-H-A-R-L-E-S, and you can definitely find my books on Amazon. And please go check out The Balanced Babe and see what Sarah's doing. And then let's just bring in 2018 song, you guys. I'm actually changing my podcast to Ask Men to a solo show and then episode show once a week. So on Tuesdays it will be a solo show of me answering questions of you guys actually based upon cerebral palsy, and then on Thursdays it will be a interview show. So that should be interesting, and then we will see what happens there. But let's bring in 2018 song. And Sarah, anything about health year's resolutions while I have you on the phone?
No, I mean, as far as the wintertime goes, is the weather still nice there in Colorado?
Yes, but it's December, so it's cold. We're having mild winter, I should say. Let's just put it that way. We're having mild winter.
Well, I've been working with a lot of people here in Chicago, and everybody's complaining about keeping their immune system up. So if I could spread one last message out there, it's 3 simple ways to keep your immune system kicking during the winter months, because, you know, there's extra germs and pathogens and all that stuff. But
go ahead.
Intermittent fasting. Have you heard about intermittent fasting?
I have. And
yeah.
I don't think my body can handle it. Well, you wouldn't be surprised what my body can do. So I have heard about intermittent fasting, yes.
Yeah, so typically people will just eat dinner at 7 or 8 o'clock, but then, you know, go to sleep and then wait until maybe 10 a.m. to have breakfast, and that's kind of like a natural, easier way to do that. But there's been studies that show that intermittent fasting can help regenerate old or deformed immunity cells. But again, you know, as you mentioned, it's different for everybody. It's not for everybody, so you always have to make sure you're checking with your doctor. But that is one thing that I've been doing some research on lately to see kind of what other studies are out there and how it affects people. But people, make sure you're drinking your green juices, sipping on some bone broth for those minerals, getting some elderberry syrup in your diet, because that can help with antimicrobial properties, and eat a lot of garlic. But just make sure you're not smooching anybody, because you don't want to have garlic breath. But garlic also helps fight off those colds. So that is my last little tip.
And also,
health and wellness.
also, one thing I have learned for UTI, which you guys know what a UTI is. Okay, let's get on with the urinary section. I have learned that cranberry juice staves off a UTI. Trust me, I have learned that a cranberry juice and drink your water. People, I don't care how much lemon you put in your water, just drink your water. And this is coming from a person that doesn't really like water, so now I have to practice what I preach. So again, drink your water and drink that cranberry juice when you feel a UTI coming on, because UTIs are not like pudding. So I just wanted to throw that in there for a 2018 extra tip. And yes, drink your green juice. If I had access to green juice, I would drink it. But water's gonna be the best bet. And bone broth, I've been told, is phenomenal. So just be careful. And as we go into second semester of schooling, thank you very much, try not to get sick. Try not to get sick. Just do what Sarah and I suggested, and please go get a blood test if you feel like you have a vitamin D deficiency, because then Sarah and I could help you live a healthier lifestyle. You guys, Sarah more than me with the balanced stage, but please go get a blood test if you feel like you have a vitamin D deficiency, because probably you do, and probably you don't even know it. So just try and stay healthy until this spring. I don't want any colds. I don't want anyone complaining that they are sick. I am trying to keep everyone healthy, along with give them an educational podcast.
That is true. Well, Wen, thank you so much for having me.
Well, I appreciate you, Sarah, and I will, you guys will hear this episode on Thursday. I will hand the link off to Sarah on Wednesday, and then we'll make this podcast rock and roll. Thank you, guys. Bye.
Bye, guys. Are we still recording, Wen? Hello?